Welcome back to Two Women and Crypto. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Maybe.
Are we live?
There we are. We're live.
I love us.
Again?
We're so ridiculous. I love it.
Such a stitch. Good morning. Oh, look, I've got it. I've got a show. I've got my DeFi. Got my DeFi t-shirt on today.
I love it. I love it. Decentralized finance. It's the way out of this.
It's so funny. Andrew and I have been talking for a little bit, and we're finally like, we just got to record because this is all part of the show. It's all part of our entertainment that we have in store. But before we dive into news and everything else, we should let everybody know that we do have a Q&A this Saturday, tomorrow, March 26th. It's $10 a person. Registration is on our website, Two Women in Crypto /classes events. You'll find it there, and we would love to see you. So it begins at 8 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And we're excited because there's always so many wonderful questions that people bring to the table. So I hope you can join us.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And it's like, ask us anything. If we don't know the answer, we will find it.
We will do our best. Absolutely.
We will do our due diligence, and it's just, ooh, Kelly, what a week, another week goes by and like crypto's just marching towards adoption, like really quickly.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And to boot, to make it really exciting is the fact that the markets are actually, we've got lots of green, which feels good for everybody out there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, like, a lot of things that we're going to talk about today with, just there's so many projects that are growing, their ecosystems are growing. We're seeing more and more adoption. We're seeing more and more countries want to trade in their own dollars. There's just so much good news surrounding the cryptocurrency market. So like day to day, we shouldn't really be concerned about the price. But again, it's always so good to see everything in green.
It's a psychological thing.
I love it. It makes me feel so happy.
Yeah, I agree. Me too.
All right, so let's dive in. Let's start talking about, we'll just touch base on Ripple real quick, just to talk a little bit about adoption, a little bit about the lawsuit. I know the SEC came out with more like expert discovery testimony, and all the documents have been redacted, which means they just blacked out every single word on the page. This is our government.
It's like, what's the point? What's the point?
What's the point?
Right.
What's the point? It's almost like at this point, I honestly, I feel like it's a delay tactic for them to kind of like get us into this new like monetary system.
Oh,
so because they're not going to win, they're not showing us anything. So we have to be led to believe if you're blacking out every single line on a document, what are you hiding? And what are you hiding from the American people? And isn't your job to protect the investor? There's 66,000 people now that have signed the lawsuit against the SEC. 66,000 people. Where's the SEC protecting us?
Right. Yeah.
It's insane.
It is. It's just, it's such it's a parlor trick.
It really is. It really is. I mean, trying to shake people out and get people scared to sell their coins, while we're getting ready for mass adoption.
Right. Well, we continue to see all this amazing news on the side across the board, across the industry.
Across the board. We're gonna talk about as many things as we can today.
Yep.
But the first thing I wanted to talk about is, so the largest bank in Canada, it's called Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. They just announced that they're using Ripple's technology for cross-border payment solutions in partnership with the National Australian Bank. Very large corridor that just opened up for Ripple, using XRP. So here we go. That's one. The second is there's a bank called Finans Bank of Turkey. They just opened up a corridor with the Bank of Qatar using Ripple's technology for cross-border payments.
All right, that one I did not see. Interesting.
So that's 2 in 1 week.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at some of the price action. We're still lingering right around 84 cents, but 2 in 1 week. Yeah, many, many more things to be rolled out.
Oh my, absolutely, absolutely. And the other thing that was really interesting too is that the Arab Monetary Fund, and they named Ripple XRP for financial inclusion.
Ah,
So they actually named them to be solving that problem. And not only that, it's like Ashish Burlap, who's one of like the lead executives for like product management for Ripple, he announced that the liquidity for cryptocurrency in general has doubled since last year.
wow.
So we're getting there. We're not there. This is going to be a process. And again, like we have to think about when we talk about XRP, Stellar, Algorand, like all these great money coins, the currency coins, we're changing the entire financial system. We can't expect it to change overnight. And at the same time, like I've been an owner of XRP since 2017. So it's been 5 years for me. So it hasn't really been that long for a lot of people. And when
Right.
you see the vision and you understand what's happening, like, you know, I was thinking about this. So like Russia, okay, they announced that they're going to accept gold. They're going to accept Bitcoin for natural gas.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then you see countries like India, China, Russia, all of these countries, they want to trade like using their own currency. Okay, so when we take one currency and we trade it with another country and they want their currency, what's that bridge currency that's going to do that?
Well, I would have to say that would be XRP.
It's going to be XRP.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's really interesting because like watching this whole thing play out and just kind of like watching the news, like I was watching Jim Rogers, who's he must be close to like 90 years old. And I think it was like a video from like a while ago. And he was talking about, you know, how Russia wants to trade with their currency. And he was just like, but it can't be the reserve currency, because how do you get that currency to transfer into another currency? And now we have that solution. So it's like listening to all of the different people talk and all of the different news. It's really leading us to XRP being this neutral bridge currency, solving the problems of the United States, weaponizing the SWIFT system. And when we think about the SWIFT system, and I understand, like, why would anyone know what it is?
Sure.
But we know this, the SWIFT system, they work with 10,000 financial partners worldwide in 212 countries. Even if XRP is just a piece of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Undoubtedly. It'll be a huge impact. It already is, you know, it's paving the way.
Absolutely.
And like you said, you've been holding XRP for 5 years. I've only been in the markets for just over a year. And it doesn't matter when you get in, you're still coming in at a perfect time. There's so many opportunities. And once again, this is not financial advice. As you can tell by the way we started this whole show, it's all for entertainment purposes only. But it's real. I mean, it's great. It's really exciting. It's exciting to watch how it's going to continue to be rolled out. XRP, all of the projects.
Yeah, all of the projects. And like even Japan, like Japan made an announcement that they're adding XRP to an additional 31 exchanges in April and May. We also know that the expert discovery is coming to an end with the Ripple SEC lawsuit at the same time that the Biden administration signed an executive order, and at the same time that countries all around the world want to trade in their currencies.
Yeah.
So we don't know if this is planned or unplanned, but it's all coming together at this moment of time. And all roads are leading to XRP. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it.
Well, right. But it's interesting. I'm going to throw us a little bit of a curveball because we were talking about it before, planned or unplanned. Do you think that anything is scripted out there that the president says? I mean, we covered a lot of bases recently. He had all kinds of things to say out in the news.
That was intense.
He had
I
a
was surprised. I was surprised to hear what Biden said. So if people didn't catch it, Biden made an announcement that they're laying out the new world order agenda. He says that he sees a risk of Russian cyber attacks on the United States as sanctions continue. So when I think about this part of what he had said, if you know history, you know what's coming.
right.
Right? So there's a new world order. Those are scary words. People have been calling us conspiracy theories like theorists forever. But here we go. We have the president of the United States. I think he's the president of the United States. But like, he's saying we're moving into a new world order. So again, it's like we have to just be ready. Not only did he say that, and I think I wrote down his exact words were, we're at an inflection point in our economy. A new world order is coming.
Well, and I think, you talk about, that conspiracy thing. Regardless, I choose to look at it. Okay, new world order. I can take it however I want to interpret it. Damned if my new world order is going to be really pristine and super cool, right? I'm like, okay, here we are. We're going through it. And I think he even referenced somewhere in that particular dialogue or something there shortly thereafter, the being in the fourth turning, right? So he is continuing to feed that prospect, which is, I understand that, but I see nothing but amazing things on the horizon. And that's what I'm focused on. I'm not, the new world order, whatever, we know what's happening. We don't have to dive into that conspiracy theory thought because that can be really fearful for some people. What is this new world order? Let's just know that we are moving into a new world and it's going to be okay. We just have to be really engaged and understand what's happening.
And prepared.
And prepared.
And we talk about this every week because like Biden also came out, I think it was last night, and he talked about like imminent food shortages.
Yeah.
So if we're prepared, we won't be scared. And
Right.
Kelly and I have been saying this every week. Have extra food because it won't be forever. But if things get disrupted and we don't have to leave our house and we don't have to go to the store because we have food and water in our house, then we won't react, right? We're going to see it like a problem, reaction, solution. And they have a solution, but Kelly and I, we're teaching everyone how to kind of move into this new decentralized world so we don't have to live in a centralized world. And that's what this whole thing is all about. Not financial advice, but at the same time, it's like when we go over these things and we could see what's unfolding, and now we're seeing the government actually confirm what we've been saying, like tick tock, like now is the moment of time to get yourself prepared.
Yeah, and that can be as simple, and we'll move on to other subjects, but that would be as simple as just picking up a canned item every time you're at the grocery store. You don't have to go and break the bank and being that in that full prepper mode, but it is having things available for you. So, yep.
Yeah. So, with that being said, it's I just think that every time we kind of switch into like a new transition of a world, and this world's going to be based on technology, and there's so many amazing things that are coming out of this.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it's just like we just have to like be okay through the shift, and then the world is actually going to be a better place because we're moving to like an autonomous, decentralized world, which we're going to get into. But again, to kind of just to talk a little bit more about adoption. So I thought you would get a kick out of this, Kelly. So Goldman Sachs and Galaxy Digital, did you see that?
I did not.
They announced a milestone for the first over-the-counter cryptocurrency trade. So Goldman is the first bank to trade crypto over the counter. And for people that don't know what over the counter means, it's short for OTC, and you have to be like an accredited investor in order to do over the counter trades.
Yeah.
So this is a huge step towards mass adoption as we kind of combine the old legacy system with the new class of digital assets.
Yep. Goldman Sachs. Leave it to them.
Yep.
Here you go.
Ray Dalio's investing in his first cryptocurrency fund. BlackRock keeps talking about cryptocurrency.
Of course.
So we're really starting to. It's exciting. I mean, this is like a pretty exciting time. But yeah. I love it. And oh my goodness. So the other thing I really wanted to kind of jump into and talk about today is Cardano.
Yes.
Whew, so many good things. So for those of you who know, there's a company called Grayscale, and they're the largest digital asset manager like in the world. And they just released their first smart contract platform fund that doesn't include Ethereum.
Yeah, see.
And the number one holding in this smart contract fund is Cardano. Okay. Wow. Solana is second. And then we have Avalanche, Algorand, Matic, Stellar, Polkadot. So when we look at these smart contract programs, and we've been talking about this, all of these smart contracting programs, they're going to connect and interoperate with each other. So if we think about, if I have AT&T cell phone service and Kelly has Verizon, imagine me not being able to call Kelly because our systems don't connect.
Right.
And that's kind of like where the old legacy system is right now. Like if I have a Bank of America, I can't send Kelly money to her Wells Fargo bank, right? Because they don't connect without doing like a wire transfer or something. So what these systems are going to do is they're all going to interoperate with each other seamlessly for like frictionless transactions while we trade, anything of value through the internet.
Yeah. I mean, just that in and of itself is amazing. And then, of course, the whole Cardano ecosystem. Should I go ahead and share that now?
Yeah. This is like a fun little overview.
So this is actually a link. We'll include it in the podcast notes, but it actually shows you the extensiveness of the Cardano reach. And each of these are click-throughs. So you can really do a deep dive. For instance, Andrea and I were talking about getting ready to do a video on staking and things of that nature. And right over here, you'll see the wallets that are included within the Cardano system and all these different things. But this is a wealth of information for you to get a really good grasp on how big Cardano really is, what their reach is.
Yep. And I think we're going to teach that class. We're planning on teaching it 2 weeks from tomorrow. So if you're interested in learning how to stake your Cardano and you gain interest off of that, and that's a non-taxable event, definitely, join us in a couple of weeks, and we're going to walk everybody through. We're either going to do the Yoroi Wallet or the Ada Lite wallet, whatever you prefer, Kelly. I stake on both because I try to diversify everything that I do.
Sure.
And I've been a long-term holder of Cardano. I mean, I started looking at Cardano when it was just like almost like an idea, right? There was nothing there. But then when we look at the adoption that's going on, in Cardano, like last week, within 12 hours, $1.4 billion was staked to the Cardano staking pools. Okay. 23 newly created staking pools were created.
Yeah. And the key about staking is that is where you put your money to work for you. You really do. We all want to live off the residual type income streams. And it is overwhelming at first. We're not going to be, blowing any smoke up your skirt. But once you see it done and do it yourself for a few times, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, we had a conversation earlier this week where I was like, oh my God, the staking thing. I don't know why some of these things can really be a complete mind turmoil for me. But yeah, our intention is to help everybody understand it, because it really is empowering to know that you've got your money working for you. It's what everybody else is doing. We got to be doing it too.
No, absolutely. And again, I think a lot of this stuff is really overwhelming at first because it's new. So we're going to learn something new. Like, I try to look at it as like, this is like a college level class.
Mm-hmm.
And we can break it down, and we're going to walk you through step by step, like, how to create your wallet, how to keep everything like safe and secure. And once you do it, it's really not that overwhelming. Like, I didn't find it that overwhelming. And I think like sometimes, like, when people don't understand, or if they try to like download the Decentralized wallet, then you're downloading the entire Cardano blockchain. We don't need to do that to stake our coins safely. And the more money that we stake on the system, the more nodes are created. So like, we could take a look at the 23 staking pools that just got added. That's 23 more nodes that are being created to help Cardano maintain a decentralized network, okay, that's super secure. It's hard to take down these networks that have just hundreds and thousands of points of failure. You can't bring a system like that down.
Yeah. So together we're remapping the way our brains work, really is what it is. We just are remapping. They're providing the roadways and we're just trying to understand it. So it's very cool. I'm super excited that I'm beginning to really wrap my mind around it. So I'm excited about that class. So we'll post those details. It'll be on our website after this has been published. So perfect.
Yep. And again, it's like we're growing with these coins. And I know like some people are frustrated because they learned about cryptocurrency like during the last bull run. So if you got into Cardano at like $2 or $2.50, like let's just remember where we are and where we're going. Right. So it's like I was taking some notes, and I was thinking about like the milestones that Cardano has gone through like during the last several years to really fully develop their ecosystem. And it started off with like Shelly. So Shelly was like the first landmark of their ecosystem that gave us the ability to stake on their platform. All right. And then we had like the Mary hard fork that gave like multiple assets to bring to their ledger. So that was like the second part of building out their system. And then the third part of the system, which is when we saw Cardano go over $3 for one Cardano, it shot up to over $3. Yeah. That was with Alonzo. And Alonzo gave us the smart contract platform, which means that now developers can come on and start creating on the smart contract platform, which Charles Hodgkinson, he was shooting for thousands of applications to be developed. And man, he undershot it because we've hit millions. There's millions of applications being developed on Cardano. Cardano has set out to be the largest blockchain in the world. They are larger than Ethereum. They're just young. So when I look at Cardano, I'm looking at Ethereum. And if you think you missed out on Ethereum, we have Cardano.
Right.
Exactly. And now what just like kind of like together, what's going live right now is we have the Plutus platform. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what the Plutus platform does is it gives people like us, non-technical, like we're not developers, but they have simplified the ability to create smart contracts without the need to be technical. Okay, so it's a really simple way that we can go and make smart contracts on this platform. And they released their other platform called Hydra, which gives it scalability and the security. So now we can scale to a much larger level, and now we can actually participate from a non-technical perspective to build smart contract platforms.
Yep, there you go. And so I know that for a lot of people listening that still may be like, oh my God, what in the world did Andrea just say? It's all good. It's all really positive stuff, just so you know. And the other fun thing about this is that I can sense, I know you well enough now to feel this surge of love coming through and emotion. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, because a lot of people were texting me like during the week and they were like, go Cardano, go Cardano. And I was like, I'll be talking about it. And this is why, I mean, and again, we're just seeing, when Bitcoin goes up, it pulls the market up.
Of course, yeah.
But the fact that Cardano is building out their ecosystem, and again, it's like when we do like peer-to-peer transactions, or if we want to build and like mint like NFTs, it's going to be at a fraction of the cost to what Ethereum and other platforms do.
Right. Yeah, that's the kicker. I mean, Ethereum really kind of got everybody stuck in a corner, but there's a lot of solutions being developed to offset that cost.
Absolutely. And Ethereum is going to be around. It was the first mover.
Sure.
So people jumped on it. And it's kind of like, you kind of get stuck because a lot of people are like, well, I'm already building everything on Ethereum. Why would I switch over? But again, with now that Plutus is arising and non-technical people can start to like create things like on this network, how easy will it be for other developers to move over to Cardano? And if you look at like Reddit, and they always tell you, and GitHub, what are the top 3 like cryptocurrency platforms where most people are doing development? Cardano is always there.
Yeah. Yeah, GitHub is
cool.
Great sources of information, both the Reddit and the GitHub streams for sure.
Yeah, and it's just, I'd love to see Cardano be successful. They get put through the ringer,
Yeah. Well, you've got the history on him, and if you've been following Charles for a long time,
yeah,
I love the intention just behind what I've seen and leaned into for him personally. That to me is what really captured my attention on the front side of everything. Before I even began to understand anything, I was looking just at the individuals behind the projects, which was important for me.
Yep, they have big goals. What they're looking to do is really big, and they're kind of like going into like some of these countries, especially in Africa, that no one wants to go in and touch.
Yeah.
And there's Charles, going to Africa and meeting with all the leaders and like talking about like infrastructure and banking the unbanked, and putting up like, I know we touched base on this with like World Mobile, just to have like these little like satellite areas in these small villages where people can peer-to-peer make transactions. So he's really coming up with like amazing decentralized solutions for people that haven't been able to participate in the economy.
Yeah, leveling the playing field, and that's it. I mean, when we have problems, present us with solutions, and that's what they've really been focused on.
Yeah, yep. And as Americans, like we have to understand that the dollar is getting de-dollarized, right? Because we have weaponized, and it's not that like American people are bad, it's just the government, right? The governments are bad. And when we weaponize things like the SWIFT system, what we're actually doing is creating a more level playing field, because other countries are like, we don't want to do this anymore. We want to trade with our own dollars. And now that we have digital money, we're making this possible. And I do believe that the sanctions are going to push adoption for cryptocurrency even faster.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you're seeing that obviously every time there's a new sanction announced, right off the cuff, you see a whole nother litany of things that are involving the cryptocurrency markets.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, we're going to see more and more people start to adopt Bitcoin, because we're seeing that as well. Oh, and this is like really cool thing that's going on too. So like Exxon, Exxon
Yeah.
gas.
Right.
So because Biden shut down the pipelines, Exxon has to burn the excess gas, and it
Okay.
creates shale, and it's bad for the environment.
Right.
So what Exxon is doing is, and they've been doing this, they've invested money into Bitcoin mining, and they're, instead of burning that excess gas and creating like bad stuff for the climate, they're using that to mine
To power the
Bitcoin.
mining. That's
And
awesome.
they're looking to expand it all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is, I mean, that's creating the solutions that we need under the whatever circumstances we're under. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And I kind of feel like, so every problem that pops up, we're going to have like a really good solution, and these things are going to become like more and more climate friendly. Like the more that we can use the excess energy from Bitcoin, and we see this time and time again. And I know a lot of what the news is telling us is that Bitcoin is bad for the environment. And of course, Bitcoin uses so much electricity, but it's already done. So now we can just make it better. How can we make the energy greener? How can we use some of the excess like energy waste and make it into something good?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're doing.
The first car, when it was built, Ford, he had a few iterations that had to happen. I'm
Yeah.
sure the cavemen had to work on that wheel a few times. It's all good. So Bitcoin was the leader. It's all
Yep.
good.
Yep. So, and I loved it. I loved it. And then, and I know you had sent me a link about a company called Foam, and we're going to get into like some super fun decentralized news right now.
Yeah, because so that came about only this, how I even discovered anything about foam was because there was an announcement that Google Maps was down all over the world. And it's interesting because I was having a conversation with some family members about, do you remember when we used to have to use a map or a Thomas guide? And I mean, what would the world do today if these GPS systems were down? I mean, who knows how to read a map? There's not too many that know how to read a map anymore. But anyway, when I mentioned that to a friend, Stu, who's really knowledgeable in the crypto market, he mentioned foam to me, and I was like, oh, sweet. So go ahead, dive in.
Yeah. So basically, what Foam is, like Kelly said, it's a decentralized mapping system that was created in 2018 to move away from like a central authority. So basically what they're doing is they're building a consensus driven map of the world.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we think about like what Foam again is doing, they believe that their users should own their personal location information. So it's completely decentralized, and through their Foam tokens, they can verify that what like the people that decide to build out this world map, because that's basically what we're doing. The people are coming together and building a decentralized world map, and through the
Exactly.
tokens, they verify. Yes, Andrea said that there's this bird at this park. We know this to be true. Boom, it goes on the map.
And it's our choice.
Yes.
That's the key, because one of the big kickers I really have is like I'll go venturing out with my dog, and I'll hit a dog park or a park or a trail or whatever. As soon as I'm driving away, I get a notification. How was yada, yada, yada. And I was like, really? And that's, my fault for leaving my location data on. But yeah, but then I can choose to post or engage in the build out of the system, which is really nice. It's an option.
Absolutely. And the other thing is too, it's like as we're moving to a data driven economy and a data driven society, we should get paid for the data that we agree to participate in.
Yeah.
And we're going to see this more and more.
Yeah. So check out Foam, everybody.
Yeah, check out Foam. And then the other thing that it was really cool that Rowan came across, because Rowan came outside and she's like, is there a decentralized storage, a cloud
Cloud
storage
storage. Yeah.
for decentralization? And now there's two. So the first one is called Storj, Storj. And then Proton just came out. They
Yeah.
just released theirs. So again, it's kind of like all of the files that are going to be stored, they're all going to be decentralized on these platforms. So they're encrypted, and on storage, they actually split the data into pieces and they distribute the data on a global cloud network. So there's no way that our data can be compromised. So I believe that through this platform, if they can pull this off, Kelly, oh my God, like data breaches, thing of the past.
Sure. You got your fractal spread all over.
Yep.
You know, how can you put all the pieces of the mosaic together? That's amazing. I'm excited about that. I mean, we all do. Who isn't using the cloud storage right now in some capacity or another? Yep.
Yep. So now we have two options that we can protect, our files, which is
I
great.
think wasn't it the same day that storage that you sent me the storage link? That's the same day I got that email from Proton, which it was like very synchronistic. That's the beauty of everything that's happening in the world right now. All these things are coming out of the woodwork, which is so cool.
So cool. So cool. Yep. And then the other piece of information too that you sent over to me about the Blockbuster DAO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God. So cool. So
Yeah.
cool.
And what I love about that is it was an individual, right, that decided to step into this possibility. And DAOs are something that are becoming more and more common. You see and hear quite a lot about them. And you can invest in the DAOs just like you can a regular cryptocurrency. So I haven't stepped into, and I don't know if you're going to go into the details of what a DAO is. I know there's another DAO out there called Rome, which I was looking at a few months ago, which I decided not to participate in, but they're becoming very popular. And I just love this guy's concept about what he's going to do with Blockbuster to really engage the filmmaking community, the creative content.
Yeah. It's
That's
so cool. The
it's
concept
amazing.
and
Yeah.
and everything. And we're going to dive in. We're going to dive in. So like when I did the research on Blockbuster DAO, I mean, it totally took me down like this
Oh, I'm
path.
sure.
So basically with Blockbuster DAO, it's like a new experiment in harnessing the power of tokenized nostalgia, which makes sense, right? Because it
Yeah.
kind of like people think that GameStop was saved because of gamers and the nostalgia that they had for GameStop. We're seeing a very similar thing happen with Blockbuster.
Nostalgia for VHS tapes.
Oh my God, and 8 tracks. That
Right.
was even before my time.
8 tracks?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. I guess it was, but we were both in that same concept. But anyway, continue. Nostalgia.
So yeah, so basically like a lot of people think that GameStop, they were saved from bankruptcy because of the retail market, right? They loved GameStop and they really wanted to get together, and they created almost like a crowdfunding. And we're going to see like more and more decentralization with crowdfunding, specifically with DAOs. So I know it's a complicated concept, but I'm going to try to break it down for you. Okay.
Okay.
So it's basically what a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization. And back in 2016, a bunch of developers got together after they were inspired by decentralized digital cryptocurrencies. So they designed a DAO to be automated and decentralized based on open source code. So anyone can go in when we talk about open source, and any coder can code and contribute to the DAO system and any of the smart contracting platforms. So the beauty of the DAO is that it's built without any like typical management that you find in like these corporations, no board of directors.
Yeah.
Everything is based on individuals coming together to create like a circular economy, a circular way of doing business, basically, which
Yeah.
is so cool. So they're not affiliated with any nation state. Again, when you're creating things that are autonomous based on code, you're eliminating human error. You're eliminating the ability to manipulate investor markets and funds. and you're placing the decision-making power in the hands of an automated system and a crowdsourced process. So everyone has a vote for the DAO. Everyone has a vote, which is so cool. And you can't change anything in the system without having a majority vote.
Yep. I know that was one of the big things that really caught my attention, is that it's fair.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
You know, I think it could be more fair. Like, you know, my issue with like staking is like, if someone owns, let's just say like 100,000 Cardano and another person has 500 Cardano, I think they get more votes. So I don't really like, I wish it was fair. Like, I wish it was just level for everyone, but we're
Right.
moving in the right step.
Yeah, I remember when I was looking at the other DAO, that was one of the things that it was like, if I had invested this amount, I had so much more of a say in the project. And that was one of the reasons why I didn't participate in this particular project. It was like, it's still that old paradigmal process.
Yeah.
But it's still a step in the right direction. And what I love specifically about the Blockbuster one is it's the creative concept. It's not that I say just, it's just a matter of what your interests are. It's not around an NFT. It's not around a game. It's around this nostalgic thread of creativity. To me, was what really kind of got me hook, line, and sinker on the whole project.
Well, yeah, because, you know, what Blockbuster DAO is going to do is it's like a bunch of people are crowdfunding, they're raising money, they want to buy the Blockbuster brand. Okay. And then they want to stream videos and create the money that they create. They're going to fund the film projects. Right.
Yep.
So, which is, you know, it's something good that the world needs. Right. So it's such a great project to kind of get behind. But, you know, again, like another way I think we can start looking at DAOs is like, it's a legal business entity, but it's based on like hard code. Like the specific rules are like embedded into like these programs that govern the company from the start. And so from the start, they have the foundation of decentralization and a decentralized democracy, which is going to be a big part of our new government moving forward. Like Kelly and I have talked about that hierarchy of government. And now we're going to create more of like a circular, democratized government that every single person has a voice and every single person can participate.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, which is really cool. And they're using like the smart contracting program as like the hub for all the information is kind of like stored on these smart contracts. So if like when you go and get married, you can get married, your marriage license will be stored in a smart contract on the blockchain.
Yeah. See,
you know,
yeah.
And again, it's like from like a business, like from like a business entity, everything, insurance, real estate, just everything will be on the blockchain, just like the internet, right? So, you know, we can't imagine our lives without the internet. Soon we won't be able to imagine our lives without the blockchain. And it's happening, and it's been happening so slowly, and then it happens all at once.
Right.
So, but we have like a good understanding of like where we're moving to, and it'll definitely be like a better, fairer world for everybody.
It's got to be. Yep.
No, it's definitely going to be. And, you know, just I wanted to like point out too. So like a really good example of a DAO is Aave. And Aave is the lending platform and savings platform for Ethereum. It's the second largest application on Ethereum. And Kelly and I, we have covered Cardano's saving and loan platform. It is called Meld.
Yep.
Okay, so we want to keep an eye on this, because as Cardano builds out their ecosystem and we see more and more adoption, look up Aave, look up the price, and look at the potential that Meld has for Cardano. Not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. But, you know, when I look at things like Maker, Uniswap, Dash, they're all based on the governance of a DAO. And it's just so freaking cool. So I definitely think, like, again, like, the future is bright, and you can't just change the rules. Like, we're seeing our government change the rules almost every day. Like, they just want to do this, and they're like, oh, we can print money forever, we can do this and that. But in a DAO, you can't do that without the majority vote. And it's all transparent on the blockchain.
Yeah, again, there's so many new roadways being built, and we have to map our minds to understand these possibilities. And that's our intention here, because obviously we're all learning together. But it's exciting to think about it. But it's really overwhelming for a lot of people to think, like, oh my gosh, there are really these big options. There's these big opportunities that are really being laid out before us. So yeah, keep following us. We're going to keep on painting these pictures so we can all kind of hop on the train, continue to hop on the train.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, and again, it's like Kelly and I both understand, like, we're moving into a new financial system that's based on technology. So there's a learning curve. And Kelly and I, we're going to try to do like 1 or 2 classes a month, and, bring your questions. We're going to, we'll do like a Q&A, and then we'll do like one specific teaching. So it's not completely overwhelming.
Yeah.
And the more we do it, like, the easier it becomes. Like, I might have like a really strong technical background, but I'm not a developer. So when I first started working with the Ledger Live, I would panic. I would get up and walk away. And this was years ago, and there was no one to help me.
Right.
No one else had a ledger, right? I was like,
yeah.
I was like the only person I knew besides YouTubers. And I took notes, I took my time. And now it's like, you have us to help you walk through it. And then the more you turn your computer on, you play around with the buttons, you look at things, and you become more and more aware, you become more and more comfortable. And then we're making the unknown known, right?
Exactly.
And that's what this whole thing is about.
When you first begin, it's extraordinarily overwhelming. I mean, I remember, I think the first time I made a trade on MetaMask, I think it took me 7 hours to figure it out. And it was expensive by the time I was moving my ETH here and there. I was like, oh my God, I just spent $300 of my investment trying to figure this silly thing out. But that's okay. I mean, it was an investment in my learning curve. I have no, regrets in that process, because now I remember, oh, okay, don't do that. It's all a process. Yeah. So that's why we're here.
Yeah, it's all a process. And it's kind of like Kelly and I are kind of like help desk for blockchain technology.
We're trying.
I mean, really, it's like, we can help you guys stake your coins. We help you guys get your coins offline. We know how important it is. Like, when Biden and like other like leaders are coming out and saying that Russia is going to cyber attack us, maybe we don't want to keep all of our money in a regular bank, so we don't know what's going to happen. So it's like, we just diversify everything, and, we come out of this ahead, and we help people, and we create a better world. And again, we're definitely going to create a better world, because this world wasn't working for everyone. And whether you believe we're in the 4th turning, whatever it may be,
right.
After the system comes down, then we build a beautiful system where we incorporate the best of technology and the best of humanity. And we create the best day ever and the best world ever. And it's going to be awesome.
It is. So hang in there with us. Keep in touch with us. We're excited to, and like like we always say, we're continuing to learn right along with you. And we're just here to empower you. We're not going to tell you what you should do. It's all your choices. We're just trying to give you some pathways.
Yep. And we can tell you what we do, and that's the best that we can do, because we are not financial advisors.
We are not. Again, we're entertainers. I think we really are beginning to embrace that.
I love it.
All right. So just as a reminder, we do have our 2 women Q&A tomorrow. Cost is $10. Super, super reasonable. That's recorded. So anybody who who chooses to participate will get a recording that will be available for them. So don't worry about missing it if for some reason you can't attend live. They're always full of a lot of wealthy, healthy information. Wealthy, healthy. That works for me in this moment. And we'll be announcing the dates on the website for the staking session as well. Is there anything else that we need to touch on before we come to close on this day?
No, I think we covered a lot. It's again, like we know it's a lot of information. Get a pen, get a paper, write down your questions, and we hope to see you all tomorrow.
Yep, that sounds good. And until then, as always,
Hodl on.
hodl on.